First question.
No plastic bottles here.
Take a question.
Not mad at it. The ocean and everything, yeah.
Hey, what's good, Brad? BJ Matthews of the Sports Tribune. Welcome to LA. Question about this season right now that you're about to come into. When you were with Phoenix, obviously you averaged 17 points per game off great efficiency shooting. I don't want you to get too deep into it, but in the terms of basketball realm, how do you kind of take it upon being to a new situation with the Clippers? They're going to need you to score the ball, and how looking forward to you actually prove that you're still the same player?
A lot of that. One, I appreciate your acknowledgement. It's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to meet everybody here. But I'm super excited, man. It's no different than, when I went to Phoenix too. Just being in a new situation, new environment. You obviously gotta, warm up, get to know everybody, get to understand the staff, get to understand the system, players, how you guys will play and all of that. But the mentality remains the same, Mine has never changed over the last few years. Like, I know who I am and what I'm capable of doing, and I feel like I've still been able to showcase that. And it's just, like you said, we're in different roles, you're in a different light, so it's not going to be what everybody expects it to be. And that's honestly not what I really care about. It's about what's beneficial for the team, and whatever job they need me to go do, I'm going to go out there and execute it.
Brad, Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. I just wanted to ask you sort of about how the time in Phoenix ended and what that was like for you. There's maybe the second half of the year, your name was in trade rumors and discussions all the time, and then finally a buyout. Like, how do you put that in any kind of perspective in your life, and how did you process that before coming here?
Well, it's business. It's no different than any other year. I'm in trade talks every year. I was in DC for 11, and every single year somebody was trying to move me out of DC. So it's no different. Every year somebody's going to say where they think you should go or what team should make a move. Like, it's very opinionated, but that's the landscape of the business at the end of the day. Phoenix made a decision that they were going to move in a different direction. I can't do nothing but respect it, and I found a situation that was a little bit more beneficial for me, and I'm excited about where I am now.
Just a quick follow-up on your health. Ty, I think it was Lawrence mentioned that you had something down on your knee, and sort of where are you at with that and the rest of your health?
Yeah, so after the year, Phoenix, I had like a little scope done in Phoenix, and literally right as soon as the year ended, and now I'm ready to rock. So I'm in a great place now. A little minor cleanup after the year, something I was dealing with while playing in Phoenix with a little inflammation in my knee, but I'm locked and loaded on now, ready to go. Good procedure earlier in the year, and I'm back working.
Brad, welcome to LA. Tomer Azar with Clutch Points. Just curious what the conversations were with the team, or maybe I know James probably reached out as well, about why this was a destination for you. How hard was it even to leave Phoenix and then make the decision to come here and try to rejuvenate your career in LA? Just what went into all that?
It was a process. For one, you definitely respect Phoenix and appreciate them because they helped, get everything done, and the communication was pretty straightforward, So I'm always appreciative of that, and it wasn't easy at all. It wasn't an easy decision because many teams made that push and made their run and made their pitch, and it came down to the wire about where I wanted to go, and who I wanted to be, what situation I wanted to be a part of, and this in particular stuck out a lot, just in terms of who Steve Ballmer is and how he operates and what he stands for. His passion is unmatched. I feel like with ownership around the league, and then Frank has been around for a long time. He knows the game, he knows players, he knows personnel. And then Ty Lue. Ty Lue is another Missouri guy. I'm from Missouri. We had a previous relationship prior to me coming here, and it just all made sense. And like you said, James, I talked to James throughout the process, and their pitch was it was honestly better. It was better, it made more sense, it was more fitting. Felt more confident and comfortable about, the role and the situation I was going into. So everything kind of aligned.
Just to follow up, your agent over the summer, I think when the buyout happened, mentioned that you're not a guy who likes to move a lot. Is this a place that you can kind of see yourself, beyond, I know the year hasn't started yet, but just a place you can make home for you, your family, and basketball-wise?
100%. My wife's from here, so that made the transition a little smoother and easier for us. But I love it, man. I love being here. I'm usually here every off-season working out anyway, so it wasn't too big of an adjustment for me, living-wise and all of that. Like, I'm very acclimated with LA. And it was more or less just about where basketball is going to be best for me. You know, I hope I can finish here. That's the goal. That's the end goal. Something me and L. Frank talked about. So hopefully, obviously, you got to continue to produce and continue to help, you know, lead this team to wins, and the future will take care of itself.
Hi, Brad. Justin Russo writes. Lawrence and Ty have both talked about over these weeks, and especially today, about getting you back to the elite level on defense, because you're going to be tasked with guarding the lead ball handlers and all this stuff. Kind of, how do you take that challenge on, and are you looking forward to that?
100%. 100%. I feel like I've had that at least in Phoenix the last couple of years too. Like just being responsible for guarding, you know, some of the best players in the league. And I'm open for that, man. Like, I am willing to do that. We have a lot of dudes who can put the ball in the basket, so that ain't my job to do every single night. You know what I'm saying? Like there's going to be other ways. There's other ways, and that's the beauty of it. Like I sit here and I preach to my AAU kids about there being more than one way of impacting the game besides scoring, and I'm just preaching to myself right now. You know, so. Yeah, I can showcase that there's other ways to impact the game outside of scoring. Like I can score the ball with the best of them, but I can also guard too. And that's JVG's been on my ass about that since we got here. So yeah, that won't stop.
Hey, Brad, Joey Lynn on SI, welcome to LA. You've played with some really great point guards. You've also been in positions where you've had the ball in your hands a little bit more. What's your level of excitement to play alongside James? And I know you said there have already been conversations there, but just what's your comfort level? Do you prefer to have a really ball-dominant guard like James next to you to kind of unlock what you do offensively?
I'm open either way. You know, it's always about what the team wants and needs. I'm always, you know, going to be sacrificial in that regard and doing whatever it takes. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't have my best years in my career without an elite point guard. The John Walls, the Russ Westbrooks, you know, I've had some really good point guards, you know, so, you know, to play with James, CP, and those guys, like it's just another box I get to check, you know, and I'm super ecstatic about it, man. Just whether the ball's in my hand, I'm playing off the ball, no matter what it is, I'm just happy to get back to good energy and just hooping. That's it.
Well, Murray at The Athletic. Good to meet you, Brad. We talking about, you know, you mentioned Ty Lue. I know y'all both from Missouri. Like, what has that connection been like from a personal standpoint, and what are you excited about specifically from a basketball standpoint about how you can support your success?
I mean, he's very straightforward. Outside of him playing the game, I think being a player's coach, you know, playing in the league, and, you know, now being in that position to coach, it puts you in a different light than a lot of other coaches. I'm not saying that you have to play the game to be a coach or be impactful, but it does carry a lot of weight when, you know, you're getting through to your team and trying to explain certain situations, especially when you've played the same position. You know, so he's able to understand kind of where we come from in a lot of ways. He's able to teach it in manners in which, you know, players sometimes just understand it better. And like you said, like I've had a relationship with him prior, so like it's funny, like he kind of has that same mentality, like what you asked me earlier. Like you do know you're a 30-point-a-game all-star. Like he's like, you know, every time you played the Clippers the last couple of years, you kicked my ass. So like I need that same type of energy over here. So he's been straightforward about it. You know, I think what I love the most about him is he's accountable with everybody, even with Kawhi, with James. It starts with those two, and he trickles it down to the rest of the team, you know. And he's not a cuss you out, be in your face, but he's going to be very demanding, and, you know, he expects results out of his players. And there's nothing I like more than just being coached. That's all I ask for.
Thank you, Brad.
Let's get ready for HoopJab.